Is this podcast gonna be like G-rated or what?
I figured we'd throw explicit on there just in case.
Okay.
Because I guarantee one of us is gonna fuck up.
Are we gonna
like that?
Are we gonna spoil things?
No, I don't. I think we should avoid spoiling as much as possible. Like if there's a show or something that we're watching.
If we're gonna say something that is a spoiler, we should try to avoid spoilers, but we can say like spoiler alert.
What's the plan though?
Intro discussion about like whatever. Like what are the big things in movies this week? Like what are the big things, or like in comic books? Like big things is this week that happen are the announcement of X-Men Apocalypse, Spider-Man 4 announcement, Godzilla.
But it's not the announcement of Spider-Man 4.
It is the announcement.
They had already signed on for like that amount of movies.
They signed on for 1, 2, and 3. The fact that 4 got announced is the big thing. Because
I looked because you told me that, and I googled it.
I heard it. Did he say it
right?
sucks, though?
And this thing says
which one sucks?
Oh, you did?
Which
I
one
was talking
sucks?
about Hellraiser.
Hellraiser? No, the fourth one.
I asked him if the second one sucks.
I've never seen
No,
Hellraiser.
the second one.
The first one, it's a cool movie. I
All
like
right.
it.
Anyway, so I'm assuming Eric's been recording for a while now with his little smirk on his face because he thinks he's so goddamn funny.
I am so goddamn funny.
Yeah, it has a 2018 release date.
Yeah, and that's fucking
And he
ridiculous
said,
because
Andrew Garfield was like, I'm under contract for another one after The Amazing Spider-Man 2. As far as the fourth one, that's not anything to do with me. But yeah, I think that we're
How
what
cool
we're
would it
doing
be
here
if
is
Donald
we've
Glover was
established the world,
Spider-Man?
and now we
That
get to
would
really
be
play
really cool
inside that
for
world.
Donald Glover to be Spider-Man.
Okay. All right.
They're not gonna do that.
Okay, so
They don't have the balls to do that.
Eric's been recording. Let's actually officially start this, everyone. So let's not have a title for it for now, I guess.
The title is I Have to Pee.
So let's just kind of run with it. Let's go around the table, introduce ourselves. If you're not going to contribute, doesn't matter. Just you can still throw your 2 cents in.
Wait, we
But-
started?
I don't even
He
know
started a
I
while
don't even know
ago.
what's going
Okay.
on.
It's better to start casually.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry.
Do podcasts do that? Do they introduce
No.
everybody?
Actually, in all 4 of
All the
the
ones I've heard
podcasts,
they do, yeah.
I've heard that they
JJ, the
introduce it
Break
each
Game
time.
Podcast rule number 1.
Because
No
they
copy.
do it like in case there's new people
that's
that
why we
come
all
in.
need
I'm
our
asking
own
legit because I
microphones.
don't really listen
He's
to
always
podcasts,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
each
Yeah,
one,
they
each
go
one is an
around, yeah.
introduction because it's like,
At
well, if
least
there's
I'm
new
not
people not wanting to start from
Our
the very
viewership
beginning.
of 1 viewer just went down to 0.
God damn it, JJ, ouch!
Stop slapping your knees
Oh my
right by the microphone.
Yeah,
Okay.
God.
All right, hands are up here. The hands are up here for the rest of the time.
That sounds like a
No,
plan.
that would be terrible because
Challenge provided.
then you get PO. All right, so I guess we'll go around the round table. We'll start with to the gentleman to my left. You want to say a little doobly-doo?
No.
Why? Why not? Stop making sounds, Jack. Jeez.
My name is Erik.
Oh my God.
And we're going to talk like an idiot to make fun of Christian. I make pretty pictures and get paid monies. Go to my website at buystuffswithaz.com.
This is the worst already. This is so bad I think I got Jack's cancer.
Wow.
Wow.
Dude.
What? Too soon? Like, really?
All right, on that note, Jack.
I'm Jack. You can find me at jacksaysblog.wordpress.com. I do commentary on trailers mostly.
Hello, Internet. My name is John. I don't have anything that you can find me at.
My name is John. Yes, Mr. John, even though we call you JJ every time.
Yeah, well, this is for people who don't know me.
Oh, come on. John.
Just to give you a picture, he's a goth.
Yes, I am.
Paint a picture.
Pivotal.
We should paint a picture for you.
If I could smoke in this domicile, I would be chain smoking during this. whole
Domicile?
thing.
Who talks like this?
You don't even talk like this.
You don't even. This is,
I say domicile.
this is
all
some
the time.
fake persona you have put up on for this show. Like, step. You're done.
All right, all right. If I could smoke at Jack's house, I would.
Thank you.
That's not my real voice. I'm just trying to get Kristen to shut up with his stupid haircut.
Hey.
It actually looks better. It's looking better.
Don't.
You look.
This is great podcast material.
look-
Doing visual gags.
In case you viewers at home, it's short and blonde.
Like, no, I'm
Ooh.
gonna paint a picture for you.
Oh my
Alright?
God.
We got a
Can we
goth,
not? Can we
and
not?
we have the prettiest Gerber baby you have ever seen.
Then we have Nathan.
Will Sasso.
We have Nathan Fillion's Spawn here,
and Nathan Fillion, yes.
and Conan O'Brien's legs.
And Conan O'Brien's legs.
Yeah, I mean,
Conan O'Brien's
Eric
legs.
actually is pretty
Eric's,
much Conan
Eric's got just like all
That's
legs.
true.
All legs.
I don't know if you've noticed, but he's like 90% legs.
That's true.
The
Yeah.
voice in the background is Stefani Zuba.
Not Stephanie Lee. We're not doing the Dazuba anymore.
She makes some fancy stuff.
Temporarily.
Temporarily.
Stephanie
What?
Lee of Lee's Menagerie, and I don't really want my name attached to this.
Too late.
Too bad. I don't know how to edit it out.
Too bad. We are bad at our jobs.
This is the lowest budget podcast ever.
Wait,
Lois?
you don't know how
Lois, did we
Yes,
did we
yes.
spend
Okay.
money to make this
I was
happen?
gonna
No.
say.
He's actually very good at editing.
Do we? Because like Lois would mean we'd have to literally negative money.
I gave some
Okay,
guy
let's-
$50 on
let's
the
hit
street
the
corner.
reset button on this.
No, we're not gonna set the reset button. This ain't live. Fuck it, we're doing it live.
All right, who are you, loud boys?
Do it live. My name is Christian. You can find me at. You got something to say, smart man?
I just want to hear you be all pompous like.
Oh,
We
well,
got
hold on.
knocked down
Let
two
me
pegs.
start this off. My name is S. Christian Rowe, and I'm a film student at a local university.
Moore Park College is not a university.
It's an accredited university, so suck my cock.
It's an accredited community
So,
Are you
college.
Alan
for
Rickman?
those of you
No.
listening, Christian has just suffered a stroke.
I'm sorry, I was being pompous like Mr. John here.
I was being pompous about just saying my real name.
Domicile.
John Domicile. I
You
ordered
heard me say
domicile.
domicile so
Actually,
many
that's the
Ah.
first time I've heard you say domicile.
That is
a lie.
legitimately,
It's not a lie.
first time I've ever heard you say the word domicile. Ever. Anyway, my name's Christian. You can find me at ReelBits, REEL, hold on, gotta spell it, BITS.wordpress.com.
I actually don't think you needed to spell real bit.
You would be surprised how many people would spell it REAL, because not many people
B-I-T-Z.
BITZ, like,
Alright.
who knows?
Yeah, I would use the Z.
Yep.
I think that's just cool.
I would assume
Z's
the
on
Z.
the end of anything, make it legit.
Especially because
Should I
you were
do
going
X's
for
at the
like,
front? XX, Real Bits?
No, but you were going-
XX?
But you were going for like the cereal brand, and I thought the Z would be.
Well,
I'm
you
just
know,
saying.
there's still an option. I can still change it.
I
That's
think
the
you should.
wonderful thing about WordPress. Wonderful thing about WordPress.
Yeah, WordPress rocks.
Anyway,
WordPress
you
is
can.
fantastic.
Hey, WordPress is a free plug for you if you want to sponsor our podcast.
This podcast unofficially brought to you by WordPress.com.
I would have sex
I
with
actually
WordPress.com
totally
if
shut
I
down
could.
my
That's-
WordPress.
That's
I
a
do
little
not
bit,
use
little bit
WordPress at
much,
all.
John.
Really easy to hyperlink
little bit,
things,
John.
which is really awesome.
It is, but sometimes never mind. Anyway, I digress. Real Bits is a site for you to find like movie news, random stuff, a lot of pop culture and nerd culture stuff. So similar to Jack Says blog, except infinitely better. Kidding, of course. I love you. So let's move on to like topics of discussion. Some big things happen in the pop culture, nerd culture world this week. We had an announcement of X-Men Apocalypse. The what is it? 2016 release?
Another X-Men
We don't-
film
we don't know.
about Wolverine.
We have the
Yeah.
tools. We can
So
find out.
yeah, Google that. X-Men Apocalypse, the new Bryan Singer film that's going to follow they announced that it's going to follow the First Class roster. So we're not going to be seeing like Sabretooth or anyone like that.
No, but we will most likely be seeing a lot of Wolverine.
Oh, of course we
because you know that they're going to focus on Wolverine being the Horseman of War in that storyline, and it's going to be all about let's go save Wolverine.
Well,
because Wolverine needs to be in like every single X-Men movie.
Making Wolverine the
No
bad
matter
guy
what.
would actually be pretty sweet.
Well,
That would be
okay.
pretty sweet, but it's still going to be focusing on him, which I know you, Jack.
Well,
do
no,
not
But
like.
hold
I
on, hold
think
on, hold on,
they'll
hold on.
focus on the people trying to save him.
Speaking
right?
of Wolverine, though, did you guys hear about Hugh Jackman not sure if he's going to do another Wolverine movie? He made an announcement earlier this week about how he may not show up in another one. Like he was really proud of the Wolverine, which I didn't see, but I heard reviews.
I
that,
saw it. I didn't like it that
Yeah,
much.
I heard like honestly, it was
I'll
like
tell
a
you what would have made it better.
actual Silver Samurai.
No, some fucking ears.
Oh, on his mask.
Some legit.
Well,
Wolverine
you know,
ears.
in the DVD extras feature, there's a
I saw it.
deleted
You know,
scene.
I've seen it. He
What?
doesn't wear it though.
No, he doesn't.
it's
He just
odd,
opens up the
but
case.
it looks awesome. It looks like it would work.
Wow.
Did
All
you
right.
get that? Tinkerbell just showed
Yeah,
up for a
yeah.
special
Tinkerbell's
guest
just
spot.
here, just showing up out of fucking nowhere.
I tried so hard to turn the sound down, it didn't work.
Well, that's just great.
Podcast number 1, breaking all the
Yeah,
podcast rules.
some legit Wolverine.
That
ears
sound
would've
was
been
brought to you
awesome.
by the lovely Jennifer Narbonne,
Oh.
who is a local actor and singer.
Also brought to you by WordPress.
Also brought to you by WordPress. We must not forget that. And whoever made the app, Ruzzle.
And WordPress.
Also, buystuffs.com.
Where you can get the
Buystuff.com, where you can buy stuff and bits.
Oh my god,
Oh
I
my
just
God.
spit down my front. I'm so sorry. I gotta go to the
Oh,
bathroom.
it's everywhere.
Oh,
my
Jesus, I
eyes.
did my butt.
That
Oh,
was
God.
nasty.
Yeah, well.
I'll be back.
Okay, back to some other big news. The Amazing Spider-Man 4 got announced 2 sequels ahead
Hey,
of what's about to
That's the new
what's
record.
about to happen.
We could address the elephant in the room, like how I'm totally biased about Spider-Man movies still.
Oh wow, because you want to brag that your cousin Tobey Maguire? That's cool. Go ahead.
No,
No
I just
name
wanted
dropping.
to say that I'm not a fan of Spider-Man movies after fucking that.
Also on authority brought to you by Tobey Maguire.
No, don't drop his name.
This is gonna go.
Also brought to you by Tobey Maguire.
He will get mad at me, and he might not let me do so.
Yeah, because you guys talk all the time.
I actually just talked to him yesterday.
Okay. Anyway,
Because he just got
All right,
back
next
from
week on the
filming
podcast we
Avengers.
have Tobey Maguire.
Let's keep our family out of this.
what? I can't talk about my dad, Christopher Reeves. Like really?
Not if I can't talk about my dad,
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion.
Can't talk about Conan O'Brien here. Like his son's
No,
here.
let's be fair. He's my uncle.
Okay. Fine.
Why would you want Christopher Reeves to be your dad? He's dead.
Because he was Superman.
Dude, too soon.
But you know, I guess the
Too
whole
soon.
complex is.
Anyway.
okay, fair enough.
Everybody who wants to be a superhero.
Let's
is like,
bring
"Oh,
this let's
our
bring this
parents
back
must
to
die."
it. Let's bring this back. So Amazing Spider-Man 4 got announced, and then 2 big things happened in the world of like sci-fi. Godzilla's viral marketing campaign started yesterday, which was like this kind of weird.
It was unimpressive.
Muto, it was not that
The
cool.
trailer was good,
The
but
trailer was cool,
Yeah.
which came out today, but the MutoResearch.net, there was a post I made on RealBits about like the different things that like if you typed in certain monsters' names, it said cannot confirm or deny the existence of this creature. And that I found really interesting because I typed in like the really generic ones and then I went kind of obscure and it still listed as like cannot confirm or deny. Are we going to be in for like a giant Pacific Rim monster fest, or are we going to be like Godzilla and then maybe later?
I
we're
think
gonna
it's
get those
more
guys?
along the lines of you type something in and that's the response you get.
Yeah,
That's
You
not
could
true.
just hit your
That's
head on
not
the
true.
keyboard.
I typed God. I typed human.
Yeah,
I
there are
typed
some.
man.
There are certain things where you'll get different ones, but most of it, I think you could type. Like generally, if it doesn't know what you're talking, it's like can't confirm or deny.
That's not. But it was specific. Notice, like I typed in human, God, me. Like you can see, like on the screen cap, I typed all these things.
Yeah.
But the Godzilla villains and monsters, it specifically
Yeah.
had a different program prompt. I just found that kind of interesting. Other than that, it was a pretty shoddy viral marketing. I've seen way better. Like the Dark Knight viral
I've never
marketing
really
was
been
really cool.
into like the viral marketing stuff.
Dude, no.
Not
okay.
since Blair Witch has it
No,
been really good.
Okay, viral marketing is a genius way to market your film vis-a-vis Cloverfield. Like everybody went to go see that movie,
No, I
District
don't
and it
think-
wasn't
really
that
cool
like the.
viral.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
true.
saying
District
is
9
actually
was
pretty good.
freaking
District
awesome.
9 was really good.
So I remember when they started putting up their posters, I didn't know it was for a movie, and I'm like, this
Oh
is
yeah, that was really cool. I
Yeah,
forgot
you
about
could
that.
call
That
it.
was
Mine had
that
a
was really
great
really good. But like I harken back to Cloverfield because they set up MySpace pages for all the characters in the movie.
No.
Like yeah, that's getting a little silly, and obviously we are way past MySpace at this
Wait,
point
what's
in
what's
human
Well,
history.
Yeah, hold on, wait
Yeah.
a second. I still use my MySpace. Should I? Is there another site I should go to?
Just shut up.
Yeah.
I just gotta get my music needs.
Like Cloverfield did it really, really well, and I feel like this whole viral marketing thing for Godzilla is not like it's trying to do something similar, but at the same time, like the trailer clearly shows Godzilla,
I
and
completely
viral
agree.
marketing tends to be like we're not showing you anything, or we'll give you like tiny
Right.
little glimpses.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I think the MutoResearch.net was like an interesting concept, like the notion of like you hacking into the government satellite. But like the fact is, you basically find nothing.
Yeah, it's not as good as it could have been.
Right.
Like it was a great concept, just poor execution.
You get those short little videos, a la similar to the Man of Steel things with General Zod being like, "Give us the Kryptonian," blah blah blah, like garbly and staticky. But like other than that, there was literally nothing else on that site that I found fascinating. So.
Yeah.
In terms of like anything else that's really happened major in the world, I mean like
Paul Walker. I mean,
well yeah I mean like that's a couple weeks ago, but like you know
it was just this past week.
was it really?
Yeah.
Wow, my weeks are out of whack. Yeah, Paul Walker died.
It was really sad, actually.
So did Milli Vanilli. He passed away.
Cricket.
Well,
Cricket.
I mean,
cricket.
Come on, did nobody
Like,
appreciate
no,
that?
Okay,
Like, come on.
Okay, you have Paul Walker and Nelson Mandela died this week,
Yeah.
and then you bring up Milli fucking Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli didn't
You
die.
didn't
It was a
mention
joke
Nelson
about
Mandela.
Nelson Mandela.
Oh,
I
that-
legitimately made a Facebook status.
serious?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you
That
meant
was what you were going
Yeah,
to
that's what I
Oh,
was
I thought you were
doing.
talking about
Dude,
Milli
you're-
Vanilli himself.
You're awful.
No, that's
It's legitimately
Legitimately awful.
Like,
This
like-
is the point where Christian makes a joke and nobody gets it.
24 hours after it happened. I
That's
was-
what that was?
Yes, that's what that was.
Oh.
That's what that was. I apologize if I deeply offended any hardcore Nelson Mandela fans in the room. But I don't remember us waxing intellectually about anything. Did any of you bother to go see Invictus? I did.
Oh wow! Really? Really? That's
Well,
where you're
then.
gonna go. With
I
this.
just didn't get around to it because there were a bunch of other movies that were out at the time. Can we?
Did you also know that Idris Elba is gonna be?
No. You know who likes Nelson Mandela the most? I watched Invictus. That's how you know I love the guy.
He's got street cred.
Look,
Who honored that guy? Me.
I did with my $13 movie ticket
Because
prices.
I watched Invictus.
Did he get all that profit?
You didn't know? Like Nelson Mandela made that movie. He's actually Morgan Freeman. He's playing Morgan Freeman playing Nelson Mandela.
Oh my god! Okay.
And he's also playing Matt Damon, the rugby player.
On the subject of Morgan Freeman and Nelson Mandela, did you guys see his Twitter thing?
I don't
He was
think-
like, "I'm
well-
not dead, motherfuckers."
But like he said, I'm not dead, fucktards, and like said like hashtag rip Nelson Mandela. Is that really his like Twitter?
I feel like
No.
it is.
Because I feel like there's a level where like I could see that maybe
Photoshopped.
being right, or it could be
I
photoshopped.
think that's about as accurate as the Paris Hilton tweet that had been going around.
Did you
know
hear
what?
about?
It wouldn't surprise
Did you hear
me if
about
Paris Hilton
Tila
said.
Tequila
No, that
becoming
was
a Nazi?
I always just
You
assumed
don't
that was the
become
case.
one. You're born.
No.
What?
Like this
No,
was
what?
like this was on Twitter.
Whoa,
it was on
that
Twitter.
was a
and
very
this
anti-Germanic
hashtag starts
statement,
flowing around.
sir.
This huge hashtag thing, and like everyone's all talking about it. Like, oh, fucking Tila Tequila's a Nazi now, and she has like a whole blog dedicated to like her Nazi following shit, and like she's like, dude, Hitler wasn't such a bad guy.
What?
No, I'm not even kidding. This is a real story.
Okay, like
That's like Snooki becoming like a born again Christian.
okay,
Like,
with
Just
Tila
rolling.
Tequila.
Tequila's still alive.
That's what I was shocked to find that out as well.
No, okay,
okay,
one thing-
how
one
did
thing that
Tila
always-
Tequila get popular? I don't even know
She
what
had
happened.
a show like Rock of Love.
Okay.
Like she's
Oh,
famous
that's
for being
right.
famous.
Yeah,
like,
she's like the
She's
Kardashians.
like
But
the
okay,
Kardashians,
but
but
is
she's like-
she a porn star? Is she a model? I don't know.
I have no idea.
People have said that she people have told me that she was a model. People have told me that she was in porn.
Actually,
I don't know.
JJ, she's a porn model / actress.
She's
I'm
a
actually
porn model
fairly
/
certain
actor,
She's an alien
and not the other way
based
around.
on her body.
No, that's Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, that's Nicki Minaj. Let's not mix up
Well-
our black celebrities here.
I don't think
Tequila's
Tila
not
Tequila's
black.
not-
She's
yeah.
like
It's
Hispanic.
a joke, people. Come on. You didn't get the Milli Vanilli joke. You didn't get this one.
Let's
Like,
just
come on.
face it. Okay, celebrities are using MTV for their rise to power for Nazism.
I feel like this is the Fourth Reich happening.
Yep.
Like, I feel like, you know, if we really wanted to address the elephant in the room.
I'm not
We all
comfortable
know.
talking about Reichs.
We all know it was gonna happen eventually.
Hey, guys.
All right, podcast
hold
going
on.
into Nazis.
Hold on.
always
Speaking
a
of
big
Nazis,
streak
I've
of
actually got a joke, right?
Oh no.
Why did Hitler get hit with a baseball?
Why?
Because he did not see it coming.
That was the worst joke I've ever heard.
You know what? No, it's not.
You know what? No, because like all of the Holocaust jokes and World War II jokes need to stop. Like
I know it.
Yeah. Okay.
they're
Stop,
like so
stop.
offensive.
My uncle fell off a tower.
And frankly, I feel like they need to stop.
Oh, and frankly,
Oh,
there we
really?
go.
And
Like, wait
frankly,
for that
that's the route you went.
We're
Really?
gonna go ahead and.
Well, hey, you know, if you're gonna tell
You know,
stupid
this
jokes,
seems
I'll
like
tell
a great
stupid
jumping
jokes
off
too.
point to bring us to our main discussion of this week. Let's talk about sequels and reboots. Like, it seems pretty much everything that we see nowadays, like in
Oh.
any capacity,
Let's
books,
start with Carrie.
movies,
It's not even so
video
much.
games,
yeah,
everything,
sequels
sequels
that-
and reboots.
I think it's everyone trying to follow the Marvel blueprint, which is we're gonna build an actual universe.
No.
Oh, really?
No,
We're just
no,
gonna follow
no,
the Marvel
no.
blueprint?
It is
No.
the Marvel
No,
blueprint.
no.
It's
no.
absolutely the Marvel
Shh.
blueprint.
People like
Blueprint.
focusing on this whole like reboot and like just dragging a series on as long as they can. It started way before the
But
Marvel
that's not
Cinematic
what I'm talking
Universe.
about. I'm talking about universe building. I'm talking about
That's-
Not,
that's
but
fine.
all
No, no,
reboots
no,
are
like-
doing universe building.
but Spider-Man's doing it. X-Men's doing it.
He praises
And those are the ones we're talking
Marvel
about, right?
examples.
Right, but no, we're just talking in general. Like, if you look at the roster of films that have come out the past, like, 2 years, more often than not, you're finding either built-in audiences, like adaptations from comic books,
Yeah.
or you're finding sequels, or you're finding reboots. I mean, like,
Oh.
just this year, we got the announcement that we're getting another Jurassic Park movie, which is a continuation. Like, what is it called? Jurassic World this time?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, we are also we're getting a sequel to It's a Wonderful Life, the Christmas movie.
Why?
We're legitimately getting a sequel to that.
Yeah. But
Like-
that, I mean,
What,
yeah.
you guys didn't hear about this?
No.
Like, it's slated for 2015. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, how does that
Well,
justify
no,
a
but
sequel?
you know,
Did you know they were
at the
gonna-
same time,
yeah.
we've got some pretty good reboots actually. Like Jen brought up a good point with Carrie. I mean, I didn't get around to seeing
didn't see
it,
it.
but
I
she
didn't see
absolutely
it.
loves Stephen King and loves the original film, and she said that this one actually.
Well, it was good because I have read the book before, and I thought that it stayed true to the book, yet it still put it in a modern time setting. So it was set in the year 2013, so people had cell phones, and
Right.
which is very different than the original Carrie, but it still worked.
Right. Oh, like right before Carrie had come out, I went and like saw a Halloween movie with my mom because like we wanted to watch like the classic horror movies. I saw Carrie, the original one,
The
and
original one's great.
I gotta say, like, I enjoyed it for like the message, but it felt so dated
Yes.
that like you can't like I couldn't appreciate it nearly as much as if it was made into like a recent time, because like there was literally a part where like the PE coach was slapping a child, and I was like, that can't happen today. But my mom was like, that was actually normal back when I went to high school. Like they could get physically aggressive with you, and while maybe it wouldn't be that extreme, they were certainly allowed to. And I was like, so this like that moment right there completely removed me from the film. So like in some cases, like the Carrie reboot, I agree that it's like necessary.
And also the scene when she, all hell breaks loose was
Spoiler.
absolutely incredible.
Spoiler.
If you don't know the story, if you don't know the story of Carrie by
If
now,
you know
like,
the
come
story
on.
of Carrie, then you live under a rock.
Yeah,
Listen,
it was
hold on.
parodied in tiny
Hold
font.
on,
I think the
literally
embargo gets
last
lifted
week.
after
Literally
20
last
years.
week, I just found out that
And
Darth
plus, the
Vader was
poster has the image of her
Spoiler.
covered in blood, so
Wait,
that's a spoiler
wait,
right
wait,
there.
wait,
is the
really?
Did
fucking
Jesus come
poster.
back after that? After he was crucified, did he come
No,
back
no, he was
after that?
taking a nap.
I don't know. Spoilers, he does.
Spoilers: the end of the Bible is the end of humanity.
Spoilers in Titanic, the boat sinks.
So the rebooting the Bible of J.J. Abrams.
Oh,
No,
speaking of, did you guys see the trailer for Noah?
Yeah,
Darren
it
Aronofsky's
looks
movie?
awesome.
That looks
That movie
intense.
looks
like,
fantastic.
So good. Cow.
Like,
Yeah.
Have you,
talk
Eric, did you
about
see it?
giving,
I've
talk
not
about
seen
giving
it,
dude.
Russell Crowe like a good role again.
I'm telling you,
like,
the Old Testament, man.
is
has got
like
some
those are
cool
some
shit.
really good stories.
Well, like, okay, but like the thing is, like, this looked just ridiculous. Like, it's basically he
No,
takes.
but that's biblical.
Doesn't he? He takes it
It's
like he takes it
biblical.
like sci-fi biblical operatic, doesn't he?
He's
No,
doing
he's-
it. Well,
he's going,
doing
like-
it
Is he
to-
doing it, like,
he's-
really
okay,
grounded?
well, like
Oh,
he's
whoa.
doing it very similar in the thread that they did, the Prince of Egypt, where they're going to be playing it up like it's got that like surreal-esque like thing going on, but it's like all grounded in
Yeah.
biblical and all
I would
that.
love to
It's
point out that
great.
when you said Prince of Egypt, my mind went immediately to the Prince of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal, and I was very confused. And I was like, why that?
Wait,
That
No.
also
white
based on
guys
the
playing other ethnicities?
You mean like the Mandarin?
You mean
In
like,
2 instances in Iron Man
you
3?
mean like Keanu
I rest my
Reeves
case.
playing an
I
Asian
rest
man?
my
That's
case.
very
Except
cool.
that
How about
Keanu
Tom
Reeves
Cruise
About
as
white guys
Samurai?
playing
He
other
plays a white
ethnicities.
samurai though.
What
Like
about
that's the thing.
Johnny-
That's his
You wanna
character.
get into this?
Johnny
Are we gonna get into this
Depp
discussion?
playing,
No, we're not gonna get into Iron Man.
Oh, God.
That'll be for another time.
Johnny Depp playing a Native American.
Yeah, white guys playing other ethnicities.
Isn't
well,
Isn't
isn't
that
Johnny
movie
Depp
gone?
technically like 1/16th
No.
Native
Oh,
American?
no, come on.
He
My
he even
great-grandmother was
admitted that he's
Iroquois,
like,
but I'm
I
not
might have
Native
been
American.
bullshitting about that.
Well, of course, it wouldn't
Because
surprise me.
he legitimately doesn't know. Like, in all fairness, he doesn't know. But when he mentioned it, he said, "Well, I might be. I don't know."
So okay, going back to the kind of like what you
The
said, the
reboot,
Marvel blueprint of like universe building. I
Yeah.
feel like we are only seeing that in superhero films, and I
Yeah,
wasn't
sure.
talking about that. I was talking more so about like the notion that, like I said, we're getting a sequel to It's a Wonderful Life,
Yeah.
that classic Christmas movie.
Well-
what the fuck? We're getting a reboot of Godzilla, which after that, what was it, 1999, abysmal Godzilla movie, we're finally getting something rebooted like 15 years later. That's an acceptable time frame. But if we remember a few years ago, like right after Rise of the Silver Surfer came out, they were already talking about rebooting the Fantastic Four franchise.
Well, it's
Yeah.
because the first one
Well,
fucking
but the thing is,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you look at overall film, it's just like that. And that's one of the things, that's one of the reasons it's a good idea to go out and support films like Pacific Rim when they come out, because, like, these movies that are actually independent, individual ideas are so rare now.
Yeah.
That it's like, you gotta go. Like, Elysium, I thought was important for people to go see.
But
Well,
apparently
I
that was
mean,
just terrible.
I liked it.
The symbolism in it was like not
It was-
subtle at
it
all.
wasn't
apparently
subtle.
it was just
Subtlety
like,
wasn't
beating
its
you
thing.
over the
Yeah,
head.
it was
I agree.
we
But there was
represent-
nothing
we
subtle
represent
about
the
Pacific
borders.
Rim either.
No, but that's because
but-
Pacific Rim was a giant monster.
The
Like,
difference between Pacific Rim and Elysium is that Pacific Rim wasn't trying to shove any political crap down your throat. It's like, here's giant monsters fighting giant robots.
Yeah, while
That's
apparently
what you
Elysium was all about like immigration laws.
It
wasn't
was.
Yeah,
Which
but
is
so
very
was-
similar to District
so was
9.
District 9. District
So
9
was
wasn't
District
subtle
9.
either.
Which
No,
apparently,
no.
by the way,
Blomkamp
was
likes to do
beautiful
it.
done.
Yeah, it
No,
was.
like I'm not saying that it's a
I-
bad thing. It's
can
just
we-
like,
I'm just like,
you know.
If you guys keep stepping over each other, I feel like this is not going to be usable.
I feel like
I
interrupting
feel
the
like-
podcast for that moment right there is.
I feel like we need
unusable.
hilarious breaks like this.
Brought to you by
Outside.
Snappy Schwartz.
Eric is just enjoying the shit out of himself. By the way, this was brought to you by WordPress.
By the way, this is also brought to you by Tobey Maguire,
And
aka
Check
Tobey
Space.
Maguire owns WordPress.
AKA Nathan Fillion, AKA Christopher Reeves.
Which I didn't even know. Like, why did I pick Christopher Reeves? You're right. Why the fuck did I pick?
You should have picked Will Sasso.
I could have picked Will Sasso.
Will
Will Sasso,
Sasso.
please find this. You stick it in your mouth and spit it out. Which, by the way, Will Sasso, please, for the love of God, go back to the room with the lemon vines. I missed
No,
them so much.
I want him to do Arnold Schwarzenegger sketches.
Those are
sketches all
very
again.
funny. Also, speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, sorry, I kicked the microphone. Apparently, he wants to be involved in the next Terminator movie, which is also getting a reboot.
It's
Terminator
not.
Genesis.
No. It's not getting so much a reboot as it's going back to. They're doing kind of similar to what they did with Predators, where they're ignoring the fact that the third and fourth Terminator
Hey,
films
Salvation was
happened.
good. I like Salvation.
I'm not getting into that discussion again with you.
The third one's terrible.
No, but like.
Oh, you mean as a
Let me
sci-fi
finish
thriller?
my point, please. Please, can I finish?
Yes, you can finish.
Okay. No, they're basically doing what Predators did in that they're ignoring the third film, the fourth film, and the Sarah Connor Chronicles, and they're doing it as a sequel to Terminator 2.
Which I think,
At least that's just what I've heard.
apparently it's going straight to DVD, which is what I heard.
What?
The Terminator Genesis thing.
Really?
That's what I read in an
I
article.
feel like this is gonna be like.
I feel like it's a bunch of random speculation at this point. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think anything... Because, like, as soon as they announced the title, everyone was like, oh, it's going to be animated. Oh, it's going to go straight to DVD. Like, I have no idea what it's going to be. All I know is that apparently Arnold Schwarzenegger has expressed interest in, like, rejoining that.
And that would be good.
That would be very cool.
He still looks fine.
Continuing on with the sequel discussion and bringing about old actors, apparently Harrison Ford has still yet to 100% sign on to Star Wars Episode 7.
Yeah.
I
think it's a dangerous road when they actually not only asked Carrie Fisher to come back, but she also accepted it, and of course Mark Hamill is on board. But like the fact that Harrison Ford is like,
here's the thing. Here's why I think Carrie Fisher accepted it, and not to like speak ill will of her, but after the whole Star Wars fiasco and everything, and where she fell into the whole hardcore drugs and alcohol thing, she had a huge falling out in the celebrity world to the point where she made literally a cameo in the movie Fanboys, and I think it was the last film thing she had done, where she plays a character that happens they hark on in the movie. You look just like Princess Leia, and she's just like, oh, thanks, you're sweet. But
let's not forget Drop Dead Fred. She
Right.
was in Drop Dead Fred.
But I'm saying the last movie she did was Fanboys, so I think the reason that she's doing the Star Wars, why she's signing on is because, actors need work. They need money. And I think, Mark Hamill, when I saw him at the 30th, the 30-year anniversary special of the Return of the Jedi screening earlier this year, he seemed really excited about it. He was like, I'm stoked to do this. I loved that role. And he's one of the only people in that movie that was like, I loved what I did. Harrison Ford hated it because, it kind of typecasted him. Sir Alec Guinness was like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened in my career. Carrie Fisher was like, drugs and alcohol, this seems great. In fact, if you ever get the chance, and which I suggest we should do for a podcast, is we should watch the Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh, yes.
And just see how much Carrie Fisher hates her life and how stoned out of her fucking mind she is during the whole thing.
Have you actually seen it before?
I own it.
Oh, yeah.
I own the bootleg version.
Yeah.
And, which, by the way, on the bootleg version on the back of the DVD, it says in quotes, if I could find every copy of this movie, I would smash it with a hammer, and it's an actual quote from George Lucas. So I just found it, really funny that's on the back of the bootleg, and I'm just like, George.
Why doesn't he feel that way about the prequels?
Because that made a
because
lot of
George
money.
Lucas,
But he knows he can make money off. If you re-released the Christmas special, he would make money.
I mean, fair enough, but have you seen it?
Like,
have you seen the Christmas special? There's
it's
literally
so hilarious.
Wookiees are speaking English and they're dressed in jeans.
And they're making cookies.
They're making cookies and it literally
sounds like a
what was
Christmas
the song
special.
that she
it is so bad.
What was the song
No,
that
wait,
she
hold on.
sang?
I'm sorry. It's not Christmas special. That would be politically incorrect. It is Life Day. In the Star Wars universe, apparently it happens to fall on December 25th. It is Life Day.
That's
great. Anyway, going back to the Star Wars things, and speaking of Harrison Ford once again, another big movie news announcement that I totally forgot. Disney officially acquired all the rights to do Indiana Jones with the purchase of Lucasfilm, which means they're making more. That has been confirmed.
I don't think that Harrison Ford is going to be in it.
I don't think Harrison Ford should be in them anymore. I think he's
I don't
past
think
his
he
time.
wants to do
I don't
it.
think Shia LaBeouf should.
That's not true. On
I don't think they should make anymore.
I think on Conan they were talking. Harrison Ford was talking about how he wanted to do more.
Oh, wow.
But I think Shia LaBeouf needs to be cut out.
I think
His character
Shia
was
LaBeouf,
awful.
like, you
No,
know,
he
Nothing
wasn't
made
that
me
bad.
more mad
On it-
than
no,
him
no.
swinging
Here's the thing.
vines
Yes.
in the jungle with monkeys.
That
No,
made
Sorry.
no
Well,
sense.
Here's
For me,
here's
it
the
was the
thing.
groundhogs.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, and let's not forget the fire ants part.
Oh my
Dude, the
god.
bathtub.
What about the
You mean
bathtub?
the-
You mean
You
the
mean the
fridge?
refrigerator?
Which, by the way, thank God,
Yeah,
thank God once again for the nerds of the internet that actually found that it is scientifically possible for him to have survived.
See, I don't mind. I'm willing
Yeah,
to forgive
I
it.
forgive that.
Survived fine. Survived unscathed.
Okay,
The
let's.
fridge part was entertaining.
I would love to point out though that like nobody questions in Temple of Doom when he jumps out of the plane and is like at least 15,000 feet in
Why
the
do
air.
you think people hate that movie so much?
No,
Okay.
people hate that movie because people like that woman screams in it. But he deploys the inflatable raft and rides down a snowy mountain completely fine. Like,
Fair enough.
come on.
Fair enough.
No,
Indiana
that
Jones
was
isn't ready to go for realism.
No,
That being said, they should stop making them.
I agree.
Well, and
They're
I mean,
great. The
ultimately-
original trilogy is fantastic. It's just like Star Wars. Like honestly, that's how I feel about 7. Can I be
Okay,
honest here?
that's fine. Be honest.
It's
About
I
7.
Hold on.
that's the one they're making. Right?
Episode
Or,
7.
sorry.
Episode 7.
Oh,
Yeah,
episode
episode
7. I thought you were talking about the fucking
The
Brad
7 Deadly.
Pitt.
What? No. What? No. I was talking about 7.
No. Seven,
We weren't
that's
even close to that. That's
That's a great
movie.
movie, but like no.
No, I thought you were about to say that you didn't like that movie. And I was gonna
No.
slap you like very audibly so that the podcast.
I
could,
would
you know,
just
show it.
I
Show
don't know.
it.
I'm
Yeah,
just
loud.
not.
Yeah, that's how painfully I was gonna.
I
Smack
do
you.
think it would be cool if at the end of episode 7 it was just like the Kaiser Soze the whole thing, and they're like, "This is actually 7." There's like a head in a box and everything.
Here's the thing.
Like Yoda's head in the box.
Yeah, like
Oh
Yoda's
my-
head's in a box.
No, remember
and-
Patton Oswalt?
Dude, we should
Or
write
not Patton
episode 7.
Oswalt. What is it? What's his name?
Patton Oswalt.
Is it Patton Oswalt?
Yeah.
Where he did the whole long diatribe where he's talking
Yeah.
about like Han Solo drops the
His
severed
fil-
head of
his
Chewbacca.
Nerd filibuster is fantastic.
Yeah, if you have yet to see the Nerd Filibuster, please type in Parks and Rec Patton Oswalt filibuster into YouTube,
No, but-
and they have like an animated version of it, which makes
The
it all
original
the better.
trilogy stands for itself. It's always going to stand for itself.
I agree.
Leave it alone.
I completely
Okay,
agree.
okay, but Jack, like, can I postulate the fact that the
What's
prequels
these words again?
were not?
Postulate.
First time he's
I
ever
have
said
said postulate so many times.
Domicile, postulate.
Let's keep it.
I
Top 10 list of words JJ never
He's not
says.
talking down to the viewers. That's the key word here.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
all
like,
right, go ahead.
okay, let me explain this to you with crayon. No. Like, people,
Not
pe-
crayons,
Hey,
crayon.
hey.
Well, I
What
need to-
color?
I need to
Pink,
talk down to
blue?
people.
Purple.
Flesh color.
I think you, of all the people that I know, you are one of the people that cannot accept this, and that's that the original Star Wars trilogy was pretty cheesy and campy, and the writing was not that great.
I agree. No.
Yeah, whoa,
The
whoa,
whoa,
hold
was,
on.
The script
Jack
was
accepts
not
that.
great.
Jack
I
accepted
accept
that.
some
Like,
of that, but
Some
not all
of
of
the
it.
lines were ridiculous, but
There
the
were
story
some
was
cheesy
still
lines,
great.
sure,
It's a
and
difference.
the special
Okay,
effects
okay, I'm sorry.
for their time were like
special
Yeah,
effects
yeah,
still
yeah.
to this
Yeah,
day
yeah,
hold up.
Special effects,
Like,
hold up.
they're
I'm not
great.
saying that. I'm just saying that people were expecting too much from the prequels. And yes, the writing in the prequels, especially Anakin's lines throughout the entire trilogy, were fucking awful.
But that's exactly why they should stop. Like,
No,
piece
but
of
here's
sand.
the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Rain
here's the thing.
everywhere.
You also keep forgetting the fact that everybody on planet Earth is a fan of Star Wars except George Lucas.
Yes.
So
Actually-
these new movies will be in
Ouch.
good hands.
I'm sorry, hold on. Let me time out here. Stephanie just admitted to me that she does not like Star Wars.
Yeah.
This is a,
We
this
have
is a,
had this conversation.
this is a get the fuck out of here.
Christian, we have had this conversation. I can appreciate the pop culture contributions.
I'll stop you there.
and I
I'll
love
stop you
that
there.
part.
I'll stop you there. There's two exits. There's the window, there's the door. You pick. You just go.
I'm just saying.
Get out of my house.
This is Jack's house, for starters.
Get out of my house.
You don't live here.
Now I do. Get out. No, okay, fair enough. But I'll agree. We'll talk about the writing. But episode 7, first off, let me just say I'm so glad one of the writers departed. I can't remember his name for the life of me. Dude wrote Toy Story 3.
Is
That
Goyer
guy.
a part of it?
No, Goyer's not a part of this.
Good.
The dude who wrote Toy Story 3 was originally attached to write this.
The guy who wrote Toy Story 3.
The guy who wrote Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 was great.
I hated Toy Story 3.
Why?
Yeah, okay,
Have
there's
you
me.
noticed-
There's,
Get out,
hold on,
get
there's,
out.
there's my unpopular. There's my unpopular statement. Toy Story 3 is literally a carbon copy of Toy Story 2. Watch it again. The only thing that changes is the incinerator is not the plane, and Andy
Yeah,
gives up his toys at the end.
That's
it is
fine. But
literally
Toy
the same
Story
exact
2.
movie.
That's fine, but Toy Story 2
Toy Story
wasn't
2.
that great.
I loved
Well,
Toy
so,
Story 2.
like,
Why do people
redoing-
hate that movie?
Toy Story
Redoing
1 is
Toy
the
Story
only
2
good
as
one.
Toy Story 3
Toy Story
is
2 was
fine
the
with me.
best one by a long
They're
shot.
all the
But I
same.
still
Okay.
like the
Well,
other one.
Here's
Okay,
here's a big problem with Toy Story 2 versus 3. Toy Story 3.
Toy Story, Nazis.
We're completely derailed.
No. Like, okay.
Back to Nazi
Dude, did
Toy
you guys
Story.
hear? Buzz Lightyear just came out. He's a Nazi. It's Hab. He's got a blog
No,
and
okay.
everything. It's
It's
ridiculous.
brought to you by
Shut up.
WordPress.
Next week on the podcast,
Toy Story
Alan.
2 and Toy Story 3 do
Alan,
have
what,
a
is
very
he a Nazi now
similar
too?
story.
No, he's the
Yeah.
voice of
But-
the Tyler.
Oh, that
Toy
guy.
Story 2, with its humor, tried really hard to shove the pop culture stuff in there, whereas Toy Story 3 kind of let the humor be itself, like the Spanish Buzz. That was hilarious.
That was great.
You,
That was
Christian, you have no taste in
Oh
movies.
my
Oh,
gosh.
fuck
I
off.
actually, okay.
Do you hate puppies?
Yes. All of them.
Is everything joyful in the world like things that you just don't like?
Literally,
He's
all
like-
the joy in
he's
the
like,
world
oh.
gives me AIDS.
It's okay
this
to have
is
opinions
nice.
about movies.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Having opinions against puppies is terrible.
Hold on. Steph, I think, was about to defend my
I was
position
gonna
about
say something
Spanish
I
Buzz.
almost never say, but I actually agree with Christian. I don't really get what all the hype about
I can't
Toy
believe we
Story
have that
movies is.
recorded.
I don't get
Yeah,
the hype
this
of the
is-
third
God.
one because everyone says the third one was the best movie.
No,
Oh, I cried at the end. I'm like,
Okay, I'll be
you're
honest. I'll be honest. I got a little emotional when
You-
Andy
you
gave
get a
up
little
his toys.
teary.
I did not cry. I was like,
So
oh,
you
dude,
cried.
that sucks. And then
Dead feels.
I thought about all my toys at home, and I was like,
It
fuck
was
you,
just-
kids. I'm not giving my stuff up. Like,
It's just
I
so,
still say
it's
Toy
very
Story
nostalgic.
1 as the
Christian
best.
Soup Face
Exactly.
reveal.
Toy Story 1 is gold.
Toy
Toy
Story
Story
1,
2
perfect.
is
I've never
is
really liked
bronze, and
Toy
Toy Story
Story.
3 is silver.
I can rewatch. There are Disney movies that I will watch and rewatch. I am a Disney kid at heart, but I have never really felt attached to Toy Story.
and
I just don't
I
think
kind of
it's one of
agree
the
with
better
I'm
that.
not
movies.
attached either. I like it.
I
I'm not
love
attached.
so many
You're
other
not
Pixar
attached.
movies
Yeah,
than
no,
Toy
huge
Story.
Pixar
How am I
fan.
attached to
I
Toy
can
Story?
I'm not
watch
saying
it
it's
the
up
best
over
Pixar
and over
movie,
and
but-
over.
All right,
It's a great-
shifting
Toy Story
shifting
3
the
is great.
paradigm wheel back
Sorry.
to Star Wars and back to the writing. The people that are writing this one it's actually a good roster. I know you don't really care for him, but J.J. Abrams is writing with the guy who wrote Empire Strikes Back, which is arguably the best Star Wars film.
I'm just gonna
Yes.
say J.J.
So-
Abrams brought
Yes,
us
it is.
Lost.
It's the best one.
And that's fine. I agree. Like, that was the fact that J.J. Abrams brought Lost, a phenomenal, I've never seen it, but a phenomenally
great show.
big cultural
It's a great
changing
show. Terrible ending.
situation.
I'm sorry, no.
This
Lost
is for
was
another
never
time.
a good show.
This is for another
It
time.
had good
This is for another
acting
time. Lost
and good writing.
A Lost discussion could literally take up another episode. So, moving on. The fact is, J.J. Abrams redid Star Trek, and while people may not be a big fan of the revamp, they're really good. I enjoy them. He did really well with Cloverfield. Super 8 was entertaining for what it was. It wasn't
Nah.
perfect. It had a lot of problems with it. The monster was exactly
my
like the
least favorite
Cloverfield
movie.
monster. That's your least favorite
She
movie?
hates it.
I
That's your
hate
least
it so
favorite movie?
much.
In the realm of like other movies, please see Spring Breakers. For the love of God, watch Spring Breakers, and then you will realize the worst movie that ever exists.
It's because
She
Super 8
likes James
offends
Franco,
me in a very specific way. Because it tries to take you back to like the cuteness of E.T. and also
Exactly.
and it just failed at it. And
Yeah.
it offended me.
Like I said, I agree. Super 8, Super 8.
It tried too
It
hard.
tried really hard to be like, look, it's like E.T. again,
It's-
but with a giant fucking monster.
It tried to be nostalgic and it choked on it.
I'll agree. It was not perfect.
And
Like I
that's why
said,
it
that's why
wasn't
I
quite
enjoyed it for what it was.
E.T. is a
Yeah.
very, very important movie to me, so it just shat on E.T. and I was like, fuck this movie.
So okay, like so kind of like getting back to the general discussion of things, like with the reboots and the sequels and all that stuff. Like, I personally, I'm kind of on the fence about this one. You know, back when I first started really getting into films, I was like outright against sequels, prequels, and adaptations because sequels, prequels, reboots, and adaptations. Because I was like, there needs to be more original ideas in Hollywood. But then, as I literally, I sat in my room just like that.
Well, there does. I mean,
And,
But-
and then you
true.
came to the point
and
where
I
you
agree.
realized that some of your favorite films are indeed adaptations. Reboots.
Exactly. But there's also this point, and I agree with Jack what you just said with the notion that there needs to be more original ideas. Completely, there really does, because we get some genius pieces like
I think it's
Inception
Yeah.
was probably my favorite of the newest. original
That was
ideas.
based on a Donald Duck comic strip from the 80s in the UK.
Shut
Well,
up.
it's just that.
Thank
like,
you,
a lot of these-
crack.com.
A lot of these things, it's like you can make a good movie out of anything, and there are reboots that are probably better than the originals, and there are books that are better than the movies, and movies that are better than the books, and movies of TV shows that are better than the TV show, and vice versa. Whatever, reboots, sequels, all that crap. Yeah, like you can make a good movie out of anything, but now we're at the point where it's not just something that people make. It's the most
It's the
Yeah.
made
standard.
thing in Hollywood at this
Right.
point.
And I mean, like, there's two reasons for it. One, it's easy.
Yeah.
Because literally they can just
You're
copy and
guaranteed
paste
money.
you can
Yeah.
copy and paste thing, and that's two, the built-in audience.
Yeah.
Movie, and they're afraid
Which-
they won't make money.
Exactly.
Well, that's
so
why
they
we've
take
seen
no
this
risks
huge
anymore.
right after Harry Potter stopped, there's been this massive surge to fill the tween, universe.
Hunger Games.
The mortal
exactly.
instruments.
Ender's
That
Game.
terrible flop.
Ender's Game.
Ender's Game.
Ender's Game isn't really a tween thing.
No, but
But they were
it's
trying
a teen
to.
book.
They're trying to.
They were gearing it more
It
towards
is a
that.
young
It's the
adult
young
fiction
adult
book, and it's
fiction,
definitely
like,
young
right.
adult fiction.
They want that. They just want that next franchise
Because it's a great market
that they
that's,
can ride
'cause
for
that's
7
the market
years,
that people go
you
see
know?
movies. Like, how many times as a kid you're like
Which
asking your parents for money to go see a movie? Like, it's the
boggles my
untapped
mind
market.
that they haven't made Aberrat movies because I freaking love Aberrat.
I
and
understand.
nobody fucking knows
I don't
what
get why they
Aberrat
didn't make
is.
I know what Aberrat is. I've read the book, and I
Wait,
can
what?
tell you from my.
The book. There's not.
I know
one
there's
book.
a series of books. I
Well,
get
the
it,
Compass
but
did
like
that,
having
so why
read
not?
the first Aberrat book, I can tell
it
you this
didn't do
much:
well
it would
enough
be
to get the other two
incredibly
books made
difficult
into
to
a movie.
adapt that
I
to
know.
a mainstream audience. It's a good,
I'm
it's an
aware.
interesting idea, but like,
That's just
and like,
that's my personal vendetta.
Right,
It's
no,
not an Aberrat
They're making
movie.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
right, exactly.
Like,
But
how
that,
crazy
but
is
right
that?
there, right there. Remember, you're forgetting what's the label that it's under. Marvel. People are gonna go see it regardless.
check this though. I like the way I've kind of looked at it is for me personally, the last great decade for film was the 90s. Granted, a lot of my most favorite films have come out after 2000.
The last great
But-
decade of.
I think.
Yes.
Wait, what do you
I
mean
think it's
by that?
unfair.
Okay,
Guys,
let me
Good
explain.
Burger came out.
Let me
the
explain.
Facts.
next
Good
year.
Burger, Good Burger.
Before you start
Go on
fucking
record.
attacking me, let me explain.
Gotta attack
Continue.
him.
If you're gonna
There
say
were-
something.
There were so many original ideas during the 90s, or at the very least, if it was an adaptation, the adaptation was so skewed from its original source material that it felt like its own thing. Case in point, Fight Club. The film is so different from the book that it's completely its own thing. And then you have shit like The Matrix, which some people hate, some people love. I'm personally in the love
Arguably
camp.
based off the Bible.
Yeah, there's all kinds of religious symbology in there, but
Bibles.
that's like that.
Everything's
All
No,
of
I
that
know.
material.
I know.
is
there's,
full of
there's a
shit.
ton of Jesus stories. in
Yeah.
there.
And then you got like,
Well,
I
there
mean,
is a Jesus
Fear and Loathing in
story.
Las
Yeah, a lot
Vegas.
of
That's
Jesus
an
stories.
adaptation of Hunter S. Thompson's works, but it felt like its own thing because it was in the hands of Terry Gilliam. And like it goes back to the 80s where there were so many like darker original films. Like you got Blade Runner, you've got Escape from New York, you've got all the 80s horror movies, and then you got like Terminator and all that other stuff. There's like so many of the original ideas that came out in the 80s and 90s were so good that I feel like originality is intimidating to people these days.
Right.
Not to mention the
I
fact
don't
that
think-
you make money off of doing
I don't think that
adaptations.
it's just a
and
lack
shit.
of like. I don't think creativity just disappeared. I
No,
think
it didn't
was-
disappear. It didn't disappear whatsoever. It's just people are afraid to do it, especially in the film industry, because they want to make sure that they're going to make money. Like they're too scared to take the risk. So instead, they just go with what's comfortable.
I think
or
yeah,
what
I
they
think
know will
money
be
is
marketed.
No, I mean like that's
because
kind
like
of
they're not only
the
doing
name of the
art,
game.
but they're also running a business.
Right. That's
Yeah.
well,
And it's
I mean,
totally
like
fine.
that's
There's
the
really
thing
nothing
is,
wrong with it.
is Hollywood first and foremost is a business.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah,
that's,
it may be art and creative expression, but it's also a business.
So I personally don't. I mean, like, and going back to what I was saying, I like as I've progressed as somebody who like loves film and has like started making my own work. It's there comes a time where like you look at the movies that are being made, you look at all the past stories that have been told, and you think, okay, how can I take that story and put my own unique twist on
Yeah,
it?
like Joseph Campbell in the Mythos.
Right, there's a whole thing, like, even if, like, we look at the original works, boil it back down, you're going to find a movie that it's based on and just tweaked ever so slightly.
Well, yeah, and like
when people complain, it's like, oh, that's the same story, and I'm like, so what?
At least it's told in a
It's
unique
okay
fashion.
if it's the same story. It's okay.
That's
the
the
story's
genius
always
of
been
the.
better.
Wait a minute.
That's
wait
the
a
genius
minute.
of the
Just to throw
Wachowskis
this
with
out
Cloud
there,
Atlas.
Isn't your whole criticism of Avatar that it was Dancing with Wolves / Pocahontas
Okay.
/ Last Samurai /
If we're going to get into
Because the
Avatar,
characters in Avatar were not particularly lovable.
if we're going to get
Or
into Avatar, right there, it's
The
none of
characters were
all
not
the characters
lovable.
are stoic.
But you don't. But to be clear, you don't have a problem with the fact that
I don't have a problem. I use that as a joke more than anything. The biggest
Okay.
offense of Avatar to me is not visually. It is a gorgeous film. I will never ever say that it was not pretty to look at. It was real. I felt very immersed in the 3D.
No,
it
those
was
freaking
very
floating
cool.
jellyfish things.
Yeah,
like-
it was really pretty, and like to a degree, the world building was kind of cool. However, when we run into things like unobtainium, not combat knives on the mech suits,
hey,
to the
hey,
point where literally there is a
the
scene in the
combat
movie.
knife on the mech suit was brilliant.
Shut up.
I didn't feel like I was rooting for anyone.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like either side, both sides were kind of like, eh.
I was not emotionally
I honestly
attached.
didn't
I was
find
rooting
it
for the
any.
jellyfish.
I honestly didn't find it any like
I was rooting for that cat
any
dog
worse
lizard
in terms
thing.
of characters than The Last Samurai.
But like
Last Samurai.
that's I said, it's like Last Samurai is the same thing. I felt more connected to Last Samurai though because I really love the samurai mythos. Like I love the whole like notion behind it.
Who pronounces it mythos?
I call it
Nobody
mythos.
mispronouncing.
I always say it mythos. Is that
It's
wrong?
mythos.
I've
I
never
say
heard you
mythos.
say
Very
mythos. Let's add that to the list of things that Christian never says.
Generally, people say mythos, but I think you can say mythos.
It's like
but
data
generally
and
people say
data,
mythos.
whatever.
Like I say
We're
Musan.
we're
Hey,
splitting
you
hairs.
gonna go eat some bagels later?
Hey, shut up.
You want some
know in the
bagels?
comments.
You want to go get some bagels?
How do you say
How do you
mythos?
say mythos?
I've heard
Look.
it, I've heard people say
Look,
mythos.
okay. Thing is, going back to Avatar. we're
I
fi-
say
okay, we're
tomato,
fine.
you say tomato.
We're okay. Going back to Avatar, what we were talking about. Like the biggest offense to me is honestly the writing. It is really terrible writing, to the point where like the war general is like, "I'm a grumpy war general. Get them damn engines out of here." It's
yeah,
like,
but they do that in Last
come
Samurai.
on.
They did
No,
that in
they-
the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Last Samurai has
Whoa,
some really good
whoa,
Yeah, it's
hold
true,
on,
like-
hold on.
It's
You
100%
where is it
yeah.
in the Dark Knight?
Like,
I can't. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know long
up.
enough to cite you pieces, but go back. The same guy who wrote the Superman movie
Goyer.
is the same one, right? It's
He wrote the
same
story for
dialogue.
Dark Knight. John Nolan wrote the dialogue for.
I'm
I
just
would.
saying there's some of the same stuff in both.
But
of
no.
those
But I'm
there's
saying
some
like
of the same kind of
Where
like.
like
hang
they
on,
just
hang on.
announce,
Cliche,
I'm feeling
like,
this way.
Jack
you
and
know?
Christian, I
Yeah.
just want to point something out. I was not the one who brought up the Dark Knight in this conversation.
okay,
For
fact.
a
I
while.
didn't bring it up
whatever.
either.
For once.
Right.
Well, I
Eat it.
actually didn't really think about it until I saw Superman because I'm way more invested in Superman than Batman personally, and I was like kind of shocked at some of the dialogue. I'm like, really?
Well, I mean,
And then I went back and watched The Dark Knight. I was like, oh my god, they do that in this one too.
rewatch like if like the thing is like the reason that why I think shit we're gonna stray from this.
Are we?
I'm gonna start back at
We're at
Avatar.
time, though.
We're
Sorry,
we're almost
I did
wrapping
not-
up.
not
Why don't
do
we just
that.
wrap and then?
Well, hold on. Let me
You
let me
can
finish.
edit
Let me
it. You
finish.
can
Let me
edit it.
finish.
Finish your thought.
Let me finish
Yeah.
my last thought on Avatar. The big thing about Avatar, and speaking of like reboots and ripoffs and everything like that, is James Cameron. And while he is a great filmmaker, like I will never say he's not a bad filmmaker, because he brought to us Terminator 2. Like he's done a pretty good body of work. He literally ripped off a scene from Titanic, where the tree falls in Avatar. Spoiler, is literally the almost like shot for shot the Titanic sinking. Like there's a part where you see it from above and it's like breaking and you see some animals fall and you're like, that's the propeller guy. You see
of
it
the
like you
animals
see
were
it
playing
tipping over
classical
and you see,
instruments.
and then it's the wide shot of the Titanic falling over. Rewatch those side to side and you're just gonna be like, James Cameron, what? Like you got lazy at that part. Like you,
Or maybe he just personally loved that shot.
and I mean, okay, and then like just
big
to
fan
hark
of his
back to the
work.
writing, James Cameron once again wrote it. James Cameron, sorry, my friend, you're not very good at
You're not
writing.
friends with him.
I know. I like to pretend I am, but James Cameron is
So wait,
terrible
are
at
you saying
writing.
that he wrote it but he didn't direct it?
No, Avatar he wrote and directed.
Oh, and then
Titanic he wrote with somebody else. Which is why if you go on
Oh.
YouTube, you will find the original ending to Titanic written by James Cameron, which is just sad and pathetic. Please type in original ending
All
for
right.
Titanic.
This is about the end of Bitchin' with Christian.
Bitchin' with Christian.
Is that the name of our
Yeah,
podcast?
Bitchin' with Christian. Come back next week on Bitchin' with Christian, where we will talk about domiciles and
And mythos.
and mythoses.
Brought to you by WordPress.
Brought to you by WordPress, Toby McGuire, and
And
Nathan
Chex Mix.
Brilliant, and Chex Mix. Unofficially. Let's just add that. Unofficially, we have no sponsors. Or officially, we have no sponsors. Unofficially, they're brought by everyone.
Allegedly, maybe.
One day, who knows?
Hopefully we don't get sued.
How can we get sued?
I don't know.
It don't-
Carrie Fisher, you talk shit about Carrie
It's
Fisher.
not monetized.
All right, what's the
like,
sign off?
That woman is.
I guess we can.
Bang!
I guess we can just do another round.
Can
Like
I
we just
fart
say
in the
goodbye. Like,
microphone?
be like, this is Christian. You
No,
know,
that's boring.
you don't want
Can
to.
I fart
Okay.
into the microphone?
What should our sign off be? then,
Eric, can I fart in the microphone?
Boom, 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 boom.
I don't know. We should do some sort of song. We should sing a song.
Thanks for coming out.
Throw
to
it
our
up in the
podcast.
morning.
That's
Yeah, that's
copyrighted.
definitely gonna get us sued.
Yeah, that'll get us in
No,
trouble.
you
Thanks for
change it
coming
to,
out to the podcast. This week.
Train Barbade.
Come next week for some more fun. I
Jack
don't-
and JJ
what?
doing podcasts.
With no one else.
Why did you really? Why a song?
I don't know.
Because it's a killer sign-off phrase.
You're
Okay,
I'm
we're
Dr.
leaving now.
Stewart.
Goodbye.
Good
Is
night.
that
Stay
could've-
classy.
Oh wait. There we go. Okay.
What do you
All
say?
right.
Good night.
Good night.
And good luck.
That'll get us
Stay
sued.
classy, San Diego.
Yeah.
And thanks
Just
for
do
stopping
just
by.
do a bunch of like famous movie quotes as our ending.
I like how.
We're actually nowhere near San Diego.
I could have been a contender.
Who's the guy? Kevin Smith. He always does like a insider comic book sign off.
Yeah. So what should we do
So
for
it'd be
ours?
like I don't know. Let's see. We did
Join us
Godzilla.
next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Well, we
No.
could be. We did Godzilla
Fuck
on
off.
this one, right? This was the Godzilla one. We could be like, watch out for Mothra, kids.
All right, hold on. I got you one better. And like the 3 heads of King Gamora, we're gonna be signing off, cutting it out here. Stay classy.
He never gets his head cut off.
That
I
was-
thought King
that was
Gamora
dope.
got his head cut off.
Did he?
I thought he did. Mechagodzilla, I thought he ripped him off.
Look to the stars for Space Godzilla.
This is never gonna end.
This is the podcast
Podcast
that never
never
ends. This is the song that we sign off with.
The end.
Some
Game
people
over.
started singing it, not knowing what it was, and then they kept on singing it forever, just because it is the podcast that never ends.
Never end.
What you eat?
I think that's it.